Hello, this is Colton Smith and Carly Hess for Waxahachie High School AP Biology. We're making this video to disprove a misconception about evolution. The misconception that we're going to attempt to disprove is that evolution violates the second law of thermodynamics. I'm very briefly going to attempt to disprove this misconception, considering that it is an extremely complex and diverse topic. In order to disprove this misconception, we must first understand what the two terms mean. The second law of thermodynamics states that the entropy of an isolated system never decreases, because isolated systems spontaneously evolve towards thermodynamic equilibrium. The second law is more commonly known as the law of constant increase of entropy. And just to be clear, entropy is a thermodynamic quality that helps to account for the flow of energy. Entropy can be described as an increase in the amount of randomness or the loss of structure. An example of the second law would be if I were to place a large amount of heat inside a closed box. If the heat were trapped in this box, the particles would eventually spread out over the inside of the box, increasing the amount of randomness and decreasing the amount of structure in the particles. The gist of the second law is that all things are losing energy that can never be regained. In a sense, the second law states that a living organism is moving backwards, which is why people believe that it is incompatible with evolution, considering that the entire premise of evolution is that we are constantly and progressively moving forward as organisms. So in theory, the second law would disprove evolution. The fact is that people who believe that theory have it all wrong. They forgot to look at the basics of the law. The law states that entropy, which again is the amount of unusable energy, in an isolated system is constantly increased. The problem is that the world that we live in is not isolated. The world in which we live is not isolated at all. If you walk outside, you'll see a huge ball of fire in the sky that we call the sun. The sun is constantly providing energy to the world in which we live. Considering that we live in constantly are receiving energy from the sun, it's easy to see that we do not live in an isolated system, not even close. If this is taken into account, both the second law of thermodynamics as well as evolution can stand correct without one diffusing the other. This is a very complex topic, and I hope that I've explained it well. Thank you for your time, and goodbye.